from the store, and you have to be at the store to find out about that, and you have to be at the store to enter. So, like I said, if you're looking for a way to get to the big game this year, well, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of contests, and I know where one will be. You might want to check out the store and come out and say hello this Sunday. P.C. Richard, like I said, we'll be there at 8 o'clock. P.C. Richard and Son, 86th, 87th Broadway, and we'll be there, and so will Otis Jerome Anderson from 8 until 10. I'll be there until noon with the program. So for week number 2, Football Sunday, coming your way this coming Sunday. We have already put a week in the bank and a game last night in the bank. Week 2 in the league where they play for pay. For the season 1 and 2, I hit the Denver opener on the head, and then on Sunday I was 0-2 with a push on Cincinnati, which never should have lost that game, but they did push. They were a 3-point underdog. I like a lot of games this week. I mean, I like about 7 games this week. So I'm just going to pick as many as I like because I couldn't decide. I like a lot of games. Game number 1 is the Giants and the Broncos. I like the Giants getting 5. I think the Giants are every bit as good as the Broncos. I think on their A game, they're at home, they should beat the Broncos. I think the Broncos can be the class of the AFC, but there's not much separating the Giants from any of the top teams, and I think really there's not a dominant team out there. Denver's good, but Denver should not be a 5-point favorite in New York against the Giants. Giants should never be underdog 5 points to anybody in their building. They're too dangerous for that. They're too solid for that. They have too many weapons for that. And I think this will probably be a shootout, but I think this could be last one with the ball wins. I expect both Mannings to have big days. I think they'll both find the end zone probably with a good deal of regularity. I would not be surprised if this was, 37-34 or 34-31 or who knows, maybe even higher than that. You never know. But I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think the Giants have a million weapons, and as long as they don't turn it over 6 more times, I think they have a very good chance to win. Giants +5, game number 1. And I'm just going to roll the games here because, like I said, I like a lot of games here. Okay, the Eagles are 7.5-point favorites over the Chargers. I bet you everybody in the world is going to pick the Eagles. Oh, the Eagles can't lose. The Chargers blew a 28-7 lead. Eagles can't lose. Blah, blah. You know what? It's too many points to give Rivers. Chargers will probably lose, but I would be surprised if this game wasn't competitive. You're getting 8 points. That's a lot of points. Okay, give me the Chargers plus the points in game number 2. Game number 3, Browns and Ravens. I told you before, the Browns are awful. And they go take a Raven team. Now, I have the Ravens as an under this year as one of my picks to be an under 8.5. If they lose this game, I will coast to that. I don't think they'll lose this game. They're a 6.5-point favorite, which shows you how much the Ravens have been lowered in terms of this game usually be 12. It's now 6.5 because basically they say, whoa, the Ravens can't be any good. They got beat badly in week 1. Well, they played in Denver. This week, as a 6.5-point favorite, they will trounce the Browns. The Browns, 6 sacks and 3 picks last week. You can't play worse than that. And that was at home against the Dolphins, who didn't have a running game. Now they get the Ravens off an angry week off. And I'm not a Ravens guy, but the Ravens will turn back. I think they've won their last 10 games at home against the Browns, make it 11, and they'll win it in a very easy style. Ravens -6.5. That's game number 3, okay? Colts and Dolphins. I love the Colts, but I don't like how they played last week. Dolphins are on the road off a win, on the road again, where this week you have Irsay saying, you better protect my quarterback to his young offensive lineman. Well, you know what? Dolphins can get to the quarterback. And, I also think they are improved. And although I like the Colts, this game is going to be a 3-point game either way. Dolphins are getting 3. I think you take the points. This game could go either way. I would not be surprised if Miami won. Give me the Dolphins plus 3 points, okay, in that game. Dolphins plus 3. Bills and Panthers, I'll pass. Texans are a heavy favorite against the Titans. I'll pass. I need to see the Titans once. Rams and Falcons. Falcons coming off a loss. Now they get the Rams, and you'd say, okay, This is a game where Falcons have to kill them, right? A couple of things. Falcons are not 100%. Didn't like what I saw from their offensive line. Rams have a big-time pass rush, and they have a great weapon in this tight end, Jared Cook. Be careful here. Rams are on the improve. They're getting 6.5 points here. Falcons probably pull this out, but I don't think it'll be a rout. I think it'll be a fairly close game. Give me the Rams plus 6.5 points here. I don't think an upset. I don't think the Falcons will lose, but they might have to pull this one out of the fire. And don't overlook the Rams this year. They are very much an improved team on both sides of the ball. They're getting better by the minute, and they could be tough. They really can. Redskins and the Packers, I'm going to pass on that one because I just don't know what to make. I don't like Washington right now, but it's a high line. I'm going to pass. Cowboys and the Chiefs. I feel compelled to pick this game here. Although I think the Chiefs are improved, I don't want to go crazy off week one. Kansas City is a 2.5-point favorite. Dallas comes in. Dallas is usually a live dog, especially out of their division. I'm going to go with the Cowboys plus the 2.5 points to get into Kansas City and get a win and get out. I think Kansas City's going to do better things this year, but I don't think they're right now. I think Dallas got the better team. I think they're more cohesive. I think they'll be the better team here. Although, like I said, I'd be rooting for Andy to win his opener here. I don't think he will. Cowboys are getting 2.5. I think the wrong team's favorite. I think Dallas should be a slight favorite here. They've made Kansas City the favorite off last week. Give me Dallas plus 2.5 points. Vikings and the Bears. Bears surprised me in week number one when they came back, pushed the game against the Chiefs against the Bengals as a 3-point favorite. You know I don't like the Bears this year. I'm going to go back to the well a second time here against the Bears. This time, the Vikings come in off a loss. Last year, Peterson got 100 yards both times against the Bears. I think you'll have a big game here. I think this is a game where the Vikings will play a very competitive game. Wouldn't be shocked if they upset the Bears here, and you're getting 6.5 points. Give me the Vikings plus 6.5. I like a lot of dogs this week. Bucks were awful last week. They looked like they hadn't practiced all year. I don't see them bouncing back. Now, they went out and built this secondary to play Drew Brees. And obviously play the teams in their division who throw the football. They had to get better there in that regard because they're in a great passing division. But I didn't like anything I saw from Tampa. Their quarterback is a mess. Their offensive line is a mess. Their whole team is a mess. I think the Saints get to 2-0. They're favored on the road here. But you know what? Give me Breeze versus a quarterback who's looking over his shoulder and looks like he's about to lose his job. Give me the Saints -3 against the Bucks. Lions and the Cards. I was saying this year I think the Lions are going to rebound, so I'm not going to pick against them here, although I think the Cards are going to win. I'm going to pass on the game. Raiders and the Jacksonville Jags. Jags are so bad right now, they'll make the Raiders look good. The Raiders shouldn't be favored against anybody except the Jags. They're a 5-point favorite, and I think they'll beat the Jags easy. Henne will be a quarterback. They have their offensive line beat up, their running backs beat up, their wide receivers beat up. Then they scored nothing last week. They're going to be worse this week. I think Jacksonville's headed for a disastrous season, and I think the Raiders take a big leg up on them here with a win. The Raiders actually played okay last week with Pryor.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, we get you ready for